is, for me, is just this worthiness of fearlessness, this worthiness, since we are in the mind of God, and God's love for us is so vast and incredible that we are worthy of being free from fear. And it's our inheritance, it's our birthright, it's our function, it's everything. And the central theme of the course is, one of the central themes is freedom from that fear, because the course is teaching that fear is an illusion. And we can't have both. We can't have fear and also at the same time have love. The course is teaching us. We need to learn how to be happy dreamers, the course tells us, and begin to have thoughts aligned to that love more and more and more with the help of the Holy Spirit, with constantly forgiving, to come back to our sanity, to be fearless. And the way that we can have that freedom is by constantly forgiving. It's like practicing the F word, forgiveness to the max. I just finished doing a meditation on that at the beginning of the month. It's like forgiveness to the max, like really practicing forgiveness consistently is our key and our superpower to the release of fear. And there's something that Jackie and Cindy said, which I'm also going to chime in on, which is so important. And they're right on point with this. And it's funny because both of them mentioned it in their talks. And I was like, yep, that's it. Is having that presence, having that awareness. And I'm getting goosebumps. When we have that awareness, when we have that presence, when we practice, and it's just practice, my friends. It's like having this awareness and presence helps, because you're more in presence in the moment, and you have, for me, that insight from spirit. It's less likely that you're going to fall in the trap of believing that the problem is outside of you when you have presence and when you have awareness. You actually start to observe yourself going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, as I like to say. But you literally observe yourself. I start to observe myself, and I can feel. So that's how it works for me. I'm having a dialogue, let's say, with my husband, Christian. I love to use him as an example. And maybe something he says trigger me. I can actually observe and be in the awareness of that trigger. It's, ooh, this is feeling interesting. So I start to get very intrigued because I know what my ego's about to do. It's about to make myself believe that he's my problem, that I need to attack now, that I need to react. So what I do is I'm present and I have that awareness, and I allow myself to be. You know, this is not a course in brushing things under the rug. Actually, the Course in Miracles is about letting things come up. That's what the workbook is all about, is cleaning house and then coming back to your right mind. It doesn't mean that you don't forget who you are. Like we were talking about earlier, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be in the illusion. And that's why it's important to feel. It's like, wow, I'm starting to get triggered by this. And when you have that awareness that you're being triggered, you have power. You have power because you recognize that it's not you. You recognize that there's a dialogue behind the scenes, which is the ego, and you are actually witnessing it. It's not true. You realize it's not true. So what I do is I laugh because I'm like, oh, wow, okay, I'm about to go there. And then it just sort of dissipates. And again, it's not hard. And the way that you start to be more present and have more awareness is to practice that, is to, when you're walking, even if it's, you know, from point A to point B, is to say, I'm not going to have any thoughts and be present from this spot to this spot. I'm going to do my dishes now, and I'm going to do my dishes. I'm going to practice not having thoughts. I'm going to practice washing my dishes. All of this starts to bring an awareness of where your mind starts to quiet more and more. And then when you're in the presence of something or a situation, you're more anchored because you have taught yourself to be in presence. You start to be more aware and not in the past and the future judgments of what this person should be acting like or should be doing. And as the Course emphasizes, there is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. That's one of the workbook lines. There's nothing to fear. And the only reason we fear is because we are in judgment. So anytime that we are in judgment and we are not accepting things for what they are, we begin to have fear because it's not natural. It's not our true self. So it's uncomfortable. And what you can do is take that as a beautiful gift instead of judging it. It's, wow, like this is such a beautiful gift that I have, that I can feel uncomfortable. And my uncomfortableness is just showing me that I'm not in my true nature. And it feels uncomfortable because I'm not living in my true self. Because the truth is that we are in the mind of God in this moment. And if you tune in right now in this moment and be aware and present, you'll feel it. And what does it look like? What does it feel like? This. And this. And here we are. And that's everything. Even my emotion comes up, I start tearing up because it just takes that willingness, as the Course says, to just tune in to God. And it's very easy. It's just being very uncompromising, which is one of my biggest things in what I share with the world in regards to the Course, because that was my blind spot, was not making endless exceptions and compromising the Course, like not really living it. So that's how it looks. Is I'm not going to judge right now. I'm not going to believe my problem is outside of me. I'm going to trust in the Holy Spirit. And I'm going to... I get the joke. You start to get the joke. And then you live in the world more aware, more present. And I feel that this past year, that has been big for me because of my practice of so many years. It's like, yay, I'm making progress, right? Sometimes it's better than others. But the key is my freedom is in, there is no problem outside of me. My husband's not my problem. My child is not my problem. My anything that's my freedom. Is that it's not my problem. My problem is when I choose to believe in my thoughts. I choose to have the grievance. I choose to be the victim. That is when I am bonded and I'm in chains and I can't experience the love of God. But the good news is that it's not that it's ever left me. It's just I've decided what the Course calls the nightmare, the constant nightmares we have in the dream. But my commitment, I feel collectively, and I know that I can speak for Jackie and Cindy, our commitment is to be happy dreamers. Is to begin to have changes of perception, to say no more. In Español decimos, no más. That's it. There's a great video on Saturday Night Live. I think it's Bob Newhart and somebody else, and he's counseling someone. I'm sure you've seen it, where it says, stop it. He's just constantly telling her to stop it. It's a really great video. I might actually link it in an email here when I send you guys a follow-up email from all of us. But yeah, it's like we have every right to say, stop, world, I want to get off. You know, I want to get off. We have every right to say that. We have every right to our freedom. We have every right to experience being in the mind of God. We have every right to experience the love of God. I don't care what you were said when you were little. I don't care what you say to yourself today. I don't care what the problem was yesterday. In this moment, if we come back to the present moment, there is our freedom. There is our freedom. This moment. And now again. It's just that choice to say, I choose to I really choose to practice non-judgment. I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to try not to judge. I'm going to be uncompromising with that. I'm going to forgive even if I don't want to forgive. I'm going to forgive. Right? I'm going to be more present. I'm going to be aware even if I don't want to. I mean, do you like to do leg lifts at the gym? You know, do you like to work out? No, sometimes it's not fun. But we begin to be uncompromising and say, you know, I want God's love more than anything, and I want to experience God's love because it's already here, and I'm willing to do anything. And I know the Course says all I need is a little bit of willingness and miracles happen. And me making fun and just being fun is like I always say, big fat kahuna willingness, because this world is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? And not the cereal. It's just crazy. So it's really important to, again, what I just did is make fun of it and laugh. And then make the choice to come back to your sanity. Make the choice to take responsibility, to take that responsibility and say, this is not about, you know, Pepito, Juanito, and that's something we say in Spanish, but it's not about Cheech and Chong and all these people outside and the whole, you know, the dream, all the actors and actresses in our dream and the situations. It's not about that. It's not even what's happening outside, is you saying, the problem is not in anything out there. It's just my perception, my fearful perception, my illusory perception. And guess what? The good news is, I'm going to wrap it up here. I have 1 more minute. The good news here is that we get to choose. That's the best news ever. We get to choose. We get to be the happy dreamer. And within being the happy dreamer, which is not really about, of course, not teaching us to have a happy dream. That's not the purpose of it. We have the happy dream when we become a happy dreamer, because then the nightmares subside. And again, I'm going to close with, we are worthy of that. We're worthy of that because of what we are in God as God. We're worthy of that because of our innocence. We're worthy of that because for me, it's been so long with the same narrative as it appears. And I feel like the time has come. I can't say it enough. The time has come. In this moment, the time has come to be released from those shackles, from those binds, from this narrative of the cuckoo mind that talks a lot of caca. We all know what that is, right? Shit. Let's just go with that. Let's let go of that and come back to our freedom. Thank you, everyone.